In a world where heroes rise and fall, Sam Wilson's journey is one of self-discovery, duty, and the weight of a legacy. The story of Sam Wilson's Captain America is not just a tale of capes and shields. It's the story of an ordinary man, shaped by his experiences, who steps into the extraordinary role of an icon. Welcome to the entire story of Sam Wilson in the MCU. Sam's story begins long before the shield ever crossed his path. Born in New Orleans, Sam grew up in a family that instilled in him the values of service, compassion, and strength. His journey would take him through the military, where he rose to the rank of Air Force pararescue specialist, a job that demanded both physical and mental resilience. It was here that Sam's path would intersect with one of the most iconic figures in history, Captain America. Sam's first encounter with Steve Rogers would forever alter his life. During a mission in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Steve and Sam would form a bond built on trust, respect, and a shared sense of justice. Steve, facing a growing conspiracy with an SHIELD, finds himself on the run from the government. It is during this time that Sam first meets Steve, initially unaware of the full extent of the man's legacy. After a fateful meeting at a VA office, Sam is drawn into Steve's world of espionage and danger. In a pivotal moment, Sam assists Steve in evading an ambush from SHIELD agents, eventually joining him on his mission to uncover a conspiracy within SHIELD. Sam quickly proves himself as not just an ally, but an indispensable partner. When Steve discovers the truth about Hydra's infiltration of SHIELD, Sam takes on the mantle of Falcon, a hero capable of fighting alongside Steve in the air, thanks to his specially designed wings and flying suit. From here, Sam's place in the MCU was solidified, becoming an essential member of Steve's team and a vital ally in the battle against Hydra. The events of Avengers: Age of Ultron mark an important turning point in Sam Wilson's journey. By the time the film begins, Sam has already cemented himself as an ally of Steve Rogers, but his role as a hero has not yet fully taken shape. In many ways, Age of Ultron is where Sam first truly proves his worth, not just as a sidekick or supporting character, but as a vital member of the Avengers team. Sam's presence in Age of Ultron is significant. After the events of the Winter Soldier, Sam is no longer just Falcon, a man with wings and specialized skills. He has joined the Avengers, albeit as a relatively new member. When we first see Sam in the movie, he's in a familiar place, fighting alongside Steve Rogers. Their friendship, which was established in the previous film, has only grown, and Sam's loyalty to Steve is unwavering. The film begins with the Avengers on a mission to retrieve Loki's scepter, which has been taken by Hydra. As the Avengers storm a Hydra base in Sokovia, Sam makes his first appearance as an official member of the team. What we see here is crucial. While the other Avengers, like Tony Stark and Thor, are using brute strength and advanced technology, Sam uses his intelligence and his Falcon suit, built with technology that allows him to fly, showing his unique ability to be both tactical and agile. Sam's role in the team is far from superficial. He is integral to the mission. His flying suit, designed for aerial combat and reconnaissance, provides the Avengers with a strategic advantage in locating Hydra's forces and taking out enemies in the air. As the Avengers battle across Sokovia, Sam's wingsuit becomes a symbol of his versatility in combat. Unlike the other Avengers, who tend to rely on physical strength or brute force, Sam represents a different kind of heroism. A hero who can fight with agility, precision, and the intelligence to outsmart his opponents. But Sam's contribution isn't just physical. He proves to be a valuable voice of reason during the film's pivotal moments. As Ultron, the rogue AI created by Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, begins to wreak havoc on them, Sam is among the first to recognize the severity of the situation. As Ultron's plan to destroy humanity takes shape, Sam, alongside Steve, Tony, and the others, begins to strategize and fight back against the looming threat. One of the most interesting dynamics in Age of Ultron is the deepening of Sam's relationship with the Avengers, particularly with characters like Tony Stark and Natasha Romanoff. While Sam's relationship with Steve is strong and rooted in trust, his connection with the rest of the team is still in its early stages. This is especially evident in his interactions with Tony Stark, whose cocky, larger-than-life persona contrasts sharply with Sam's grounded, humble nature. Sam's most notable moment of connection with Tony occurs after the Avengers retrieve the scepter from Hydra. Tony and Steve, constantly clashing over methods and philosophies, represent two sides of a larger philosophical divide within the team. Sam, while he doesn't always agree with Tony's approach, remains calm, level-headed. In his quiet way, he becomes a stabilizing force among the Avengers, offering advice and support without taking sides. When the Avengers return to their headquarters in the United States after the mission in Sokovia, the real challenge begins. Ultron's plan to create a new body using the Scepter's Mind Stone takes shape, and the Avengers must prevent him from using it to wipe out humanity. This is where Sam truly steps up. While the Avengers struggle with the implications of Ultron's attacks, Sam is right there, helping lead the charge and stopping him. During the final battle in Sokovia, as Ultron's army of drones begins to descend on the city, Sam once again demonstrates his value. With his wingsuit, Sam provides critical aerial support, helping coordinate the fight against Ultron's minions. His unique skills allow him to pick off enemies from above, rescuing civilians and distracting Ultron's forces in ways that other Avengers cannot. Perhaps the most significant part of Sam's journey in Age of Ultron is not just his fighting skills or his tactical mind, but his heart. Throughout the film, Sam remains a moral compass of sorts. He is pragmatic, yes. He knows the weight of war and the cost of battle. But his focus remains on protecting the people and fighting for a better future. His calm demeanor during the chaos reflects his grounded sense of purpose, something that distinguishes him from the other Avengers, who often act out of emotion, anger, or fear. At the heart of Sam Wilson's journey in Age of Ultron is his growing sense of belonging. He's no longer just a soldier. He's part of something much bigger, part of a team that must come together, not just in the heat of battle, but in the face of a global threat. In many ways, this film solidifies Sam's role in the Avengers, establishing him as someone who is not just a capable fighter, but a deeply moral, selfless hero who works toward the greater good. At the end of Age of Ultron, after Ultron is defeated and Sokovia is saved, Sam reflects on what it means to be an Avenger. While Tony Stark and Steve Rogers continue to bicker about the future of the team, Sam finds himself caught between two ideologies. He understands the need for oversight and responsibility, but he also sees the potential for what the Avengers can achieve when they work together. Sam is now more than just a supporting character in the MCU. He's part of a new generation of heroes who will carry the weight of the world on their shoulders in Avengers. Age of Ultron. Sam Wilson's evolution from a soldier in a wingsuit to a full-fledged Avenger is complete. He's no longer just Steve Rogers' sidekick. He's a key member of the team, ready to fight for the future of humanity. And while Sam may not have the strength of Thor or the genius of Tony Stark, he has something equally valuable: a steady heart and an unwavering commitment to doing what's right. His journey, though still in its early stages, has already begun to shape him into the hero he is destined to become. The events of Captain America: Civil War bring Sam Wilson to the forefront of the Avengers conflict, as the team is torn apart by ideological differences regarding the Sokovia Accords. The Accords, which were introduced after the catastrophic events of Sokovia, represent an attempt to regulate the actions of superpowered individuals, requiring them to register with the government and operate under its control. For Sam, this marks a significant turning point, as his personal loyalties and values clash with the new world order the Accords represent. Sam's journey in Civil War is defined by his unwavering loyalty to Steve Rogers, his sense of moral responsibility, and his belief that superheroes should remain free to make their own decisions. From the very beginning, Sam stands firmly on Steve's side, opposing the Sokovia Accords, while Tony Stark believes that oversight is necessary to prevent further destruction. Sam, like Steve, feels that the Avengers should retain the autonomy to act without governmental interference. As the debate over the Sokovia Accords intensifies, Sam's position becomes clear. Unlike Tony Stark, who feels guilty for his role in the creation of Ultron and believes that regulation will prevent future tragedies, Sam understands the dangers of giving up freedom in the name of security. He knows firsthand the consequences of the military's involvement in global conflicts and does not trust governments to dictate when and how the Avengers should act. When the Accords are officially presented, Sam and Steve both refuse to sign, believing that it's a betrayal of the principles they fight for. The division between the Avengers escalates, leading to an inevitable clash between former allies. Sam's role as a key figure in Steve's resistance becomes critical. His loyalty to Steve isn't just about friendship, it's about his belief in personal agency, that individuals, even those with extraordinary power, should be trusted to make moral decisions for themselves. When the team fractures and the conflict begins to heat up, Sam takes action, assisting Steve and Bucky Barnes in their escape from the authorities. Despite the government's pursuit and the growing tension between the Avengers, Sam remains steadfast in his commitment to protecting his friends, particularly Bucky. Sam's actions reflect his belief that sometimes standing up for what's right means going against authority, even if it means becoming a fugitive. Sam's skills as Falcon become essential in the battle against Tony Stark's faction. As one of the most agile and versatile Avengers, Sam uses his wingsuit to great effect, both in combat and during the escape sequences. His aerial support plays a pivotal role in helping Steve and Bucky evade capture, and his high-flying abilities give the team a tactical advantage. While Steve and Tony are physically at odds, Sam's support allows them to execute their plans, moving through complex terrain and taking down enemies in ways that only Falcon can. During the infamous airport battle between Team Cap and Team Iron Man, Sam faces off against some of the most formidable Avengers. The fight is not just a physical clash, but a conflict of ideologies. Sam fights not just to protect Steve and Bucky, but to defend the freedom of choice, the belief that individuals should not be forced into compliance with a system that doesn't align with their moral compass. One of the more unexpected encounters Sam has during the battle is with a new face, Spider-Man. The young web-slinging hero, recruited by Tony Stark, enters the fight with enthusiasm and raw talent. Sam, alongside Bucky, quickly finds himself entangled in Spidey's web, quite literally. The two engage in a fast-paced skirmish, with Sam using his aerial agility to evade Spider-Man's attacks, while Bucky relies on brute strength. What makes this moment stand out is not just the action, but the humor. Despite the intensity of the battle, Sam and Bucky can't help but be caught off guard by Spider-Man's youthful energy and constant chatter. At one point, after being webbed to the ground, Sam looks at Bucky and dryly quips, "I hate you." It's a brief but hilarious exchange that reminds us of the dynamic between the two, often at odds but still united in their cause. While Spider-Man's abilities are impressive, Sam's experience and tactical thinking allow him to hold his own. He strategically uses his Red Wing drone to momentarily distract Spidey, proving that experience and strategy can sometimes outmatch raw power. Despite the battle's chaotic nature, Sam never loses sight of the bigger picture, helping Steve and Bucky escape, ensuring that they can continue their mission to stop Zemo before it's too late. Sam's encounter with War Machine, his longtime friend, is one of the more emotionally charged moments of the battle. Despite the intense stakes, Sam's actions reflect his deep sense of respect for his teammates. As much as he disagrees with the Accords, Sam doesn't want to hurt his friends. His skillful flying allows him to engage in combat without causing unnecessary damage. But he's also determined to stop Iron Man's side from capturing Steve and Bucky. One of the most critical moments comes when Sam is forced to make a difficult decision. Despite the rising tension and the personal stakes, he stays true to his principles. He helps Steve and Bucky escape from Tony's forces, even though doing so means breaking the law and going against the very people he once fought beside. For Sam, this isn't just about loyalty, it's about doing what's right, even when it means standing against former allies. In the final confrontation between Steve and Tony, Sam finds himself in the middle of a heartbreaking battle. Steve's decision to protect Bucky, a man who is tied to dark memories of the past, pits him against his best friend Tony Stark. Sam watches as the two men he respects most clash in a battle of ideals, and despite his personal loyalty to Steve, Sam is torn by the emotional weight of the situation. At the airport, when Sam takes the side of Steve and Bucky, it is clear that he has made a powerful statement about what he values most: freedom, loyalty, and the right to choose. The conflict may have split the Avengers, but it also solidifies Sam Wilson's role as a moral compass in the MCU. He isn't just a soldier following orders, he's a man who fights for what's right, even if it means standing alone. Sam's involvement in Captain America Civil War exemplifies the heart of his character. He's not just Falcon, the man in the wingsuit. He is a man of principle, a fighter who understands the importance of autonomy and personal agency. His unwavering loyalty to Steve, his belief in freedom, and his willingness to fight for his ideals, even when the cost is high, mark him as a hero who is willing to take a stand for what's right, no matter the consequences. By the time Avengers Infinity War begins, Sam Wilson has been living as a fugitive, alongside Steve Rogers and Natasha Romanoff. After the events of the Sokovia Accords and the fall of the Avengers as a unified team, Sam has remained loyal to Steve, operating in the shadows, to fight threats where they can. The world may see them as criminals, but to Sam, he is still doing what he has always done, fighting to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Sam's first major moment in Infinity War comes when the Black Order, Thanos' elite warriors, invade Earth in pursuit of the Mind Stone, which is embedded in Vision's forehead. In Edinburgh, Wanda Maximoff and Vision are ambushed by Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive, who nearly overwhelm them. But just when things seem lost, reinforcements arrive. Enter Steve Rogers, Natasha Romanoff, and Sam Wilson, descending upon the scene in a perfectly coordinated attack. Sam soars through the air with precision, using his aerial agility to engage the Black Order's forces from above. His combat style is distinct, quick, strategic, and highly mobile. With the advantage of flight, Sam is able to provide cover for Steve and Natasha, launching aerial assaults while dodging Proxima Midnight's deadly spear and Corvus Glaive's brutal attacks. He isn't just fighting to win, he's fighting to protect Vision, knowing that the Mind Stone is a target. After successfully forcing the Black Order into retreat, Sam follows Steve and Natasha as they regroup with the rest of their allies. The team makes their way to Wakanda, hoping to keep Vision safe, while Shuri attempts to remove the Mind Stone. There, Sam prepares for battle alongside the Wakandan forces and the remaining Avengers. When Thanos' army descends upon Wakanda, Sam takes to the skies, as the Outriders, a relentless horde of alien creatures, swarm the battlefield. Sam provides air support, darting through the air and picking off enemies with precision fire. Despite the overwhelming numbers, Sam fights valiantly, using his flight and combat skills to hold the line. But it soon becomes clear that this battle is unlike anything they've faced before. Then, the moment arrives. Thanos himself steps onto the battlefield. One by one, the Avengers fall. Sam watches as Steve struggles against the Mad Titan, as T'Challa fights with everything he has, as Wanda makes the ultimate sacrifice to destroy the Mind Stone, only for Thanos to undo it all with the power of the Time Stone. And then, with a single snap of his fingers, everything changes. Sam is among the countless lives erased by the snap. As the dust settles, his wings fall lifelessly to the ground. He is gone. For 5 years, Sam Wilson, along with half of all life in the universe, remains dusted, erased from existence. The world moves on, but those who survived are left to grieve the losses. Steve Rogers, broken and weary, carries on without his closest friends. But everything changes when the Avengers devise a desperate plan to reverse what Thanos has done. And then, in an instant, it happens. A blinding flash of energy. A universe rewriting itself. and Sam Wilson is back. The final battle of Avengers Endgame is one of the greatest moments in Sam's journey. As Steve Rogers, now wielding Mjolnir, stands alone against Thanos and his army, all hope seems lost. But then, a voice crackles through Steve's earpiece. A portal opens, and out steps Sam Wilson, reborn, wings extended, soaring through the battlefield, as Wakandan forces, sorcerers, and heroes from across the galaxy return to fight. The Avengers are whole again, and Sam is back to stand alongside his closest friend in the fight for Earth's survival. As the battle erupts, Sam takes to the skies, engaging in high-speed combat against Thanos' forces. His aerial abilities allow him to take down massive leviathans, evading enemy fire while using his wings and firearms to strike from above. He isn't just fighting to win. He's fighting for everyone who was lost, for the billions who disappeared, for Steve, for Bucky, for justice. As the battle rages on, Sam fights alongside the Avengers, pushing toward the ultimate goal, defeating Thanos once and for all. And then, in the final moments, Tony Stark makes the ultimate sacrifice. With a snap of his own, Tony reverses what Thanos did, ending the Mad Titan's reign forever. The battle is won, but not without cost. The Avengers mourn the loss of Tony Stark, the man who started it all. And as they gather for his funeral, Sam stands among them, honoring the fallen hero who gave his life to save the universe. But for Sam, the most profound moment comes later. In the aftermath of the battle, Steve Rogers makes a choice. He returns to the past to live the life he never had, growing old in a world where he could finally find peace. And when he returns, he is no longer Captain America. He is simply Steve Rogers, an old man passing on a legacy. Steve hands Sam the shield, the same shield that once represented an unbreakable ideal, a symbol of justice and heroism. And in that moment, Sam Wilson, Falcon, soldier, friend, becomes something more. He becomes the one chosen to carry the mantle of Captain America. With quiet reverence, Sam accepts the shield. Though he hesitates, "It feels like it belongs to someone else," he says softly. But Steve reassures him, it doesn't. Because he knows, Sam Wilson is ready to take up the legacy, to fight for what's right, to become the next symbol of hope, the next Captain America. He questions if he is truly worthy of such a responsibility. The world, however, does not wait for Sam to find his answers. In the wake of Steve's departure, the government, under pressure from the public, makes a decision to give the shield to someone else. John Walker, a soldier with a history of service. Walker is chosen as the new Captain America, and the world begins to rally around him. But Sam knows that the mantle of Captain America cannot be worn by just anyone. In the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sam's internal conflict comes to the forefront. He knows he is not just fighting for the title of Captain America, he is fighting for what it represents. As he witnesses Walker's reckless behavior and violent methods, Sam begins to understand that being Captain America is about more than just power. It's about standing for something greater than yourself. When we first see Sam Wilson in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he is not wearing the stars and stripes. Instead, he is making a choice, one that weighs heavily on him. Believing that the shield belongs to Steve Rogers alone, he donates it to the Smithsonian, convinced that it should be preserved as a relic of the past rather than carried into the future. But this decision has consequences. The US government, seeing an opportunity, quickly appoints their own Captain America, John Walker. This act sends a clear message. The government was never going to let Captain America's legacy rest. And more importantly, it shows Sam that while he may have believed he was making the right decision, the world had different plans. John Walker, though a decorated soldier, lacks the moral foundation and integrity that Steve embodied. And as the world watches this new Captain America take the stage, Sam begins to question whether giving up the shield was a mistake. Meanwhile, the world is still in chaos from the effects of the blip. The return of half the world's population has created political unrest, displacing millions of people. From this turmoil rises the Flag Smashers, an anti-nationalist group led by Carly Morgenthau, who believed that life was better when the world was united during the blip. Their cause is noble in intent, helping refugees who have been ignored by governments, but their methods quickly become violent, and it's clear that their movement is growing stronger. Sam, still operating as the Falcon, is called into action to stop the Flag Smashers, and along the way he reunites with someone who shares his complicated relationship with Captain America's legacy, Bucky Barnes. Bucky Barnes is struggling with his own past. As the former Winter Soldier, he carries the weight of the atrocities he committed under Hydra's control. Unlike Sam, Bucky believes that Steve was right to pass the shield to him, but he also resents Sam for giving it up. Their dynamic is tense at first, filled with sarcasm, frustration, and a lingering sense of loss. But as they work together to stop the Flag Smashers, their reluctant partnership begins to evolve into something deeper, a friendship built on shared grief and mutual understanding. As Sam and Bucky dig deeper into the crisis, John Walker, the so-called new Captain America, struggles with the pressure of living up to Steve's legacy. When his partner and best friend, Lamar Hoskins, Battlestar, is killed in battle, Walker's rage boils over. In front of the entire world, he brutally murders a Flag Smasher with a Captain America shield, staining it with blood. A moment that shocks the world and proves that Walker was never meant to carry the title. Sam and Bucky confront Walker, leading to an intense fight where Sam is forced to take back the shield. Even after Walker's fall from grace, Sam is left to wrestle with the meaning of the shield and what it represents. As Sam contemplates what it means to become Captain America, he uncovers a dark chapter of history that few knew about. He meets Isaiah Bradley, an elderly black man who was once a super soldier during the Korean War. Isaiah was subjected to brutal experiments, imprisoned and erased from history, all because of the color of his skin. Isaiah's story shakes Sam to his core. How can he carry the shield when the very system it represents has oppressed people like him? How can he be Captain America in a country that has historically ignored and mistreated black men like Isaiah? These are questions that weigh heavily on him, but rather than rejecting the shield, Sam chooses to redefine what it means. Not just for himself, but for everyone who believes in what Captain America should stand for. Determined to take control of his own destiny, Sam embraces his role as the next Captain America. He trains relentlessly, perfecting his combat skills, his aerial maneuvering, and, most importantly, his mindset. He isn't a super soldier like Steve or Bucky, but he doesn't need to be. His strength comes from his heart, his experience, and his belief in doing what's right. When the Flag Smashers launched their final attack on the GRC, Global Repatriation Council, Sam emerges in a new Captain America suit, infused with Wakandan technology. With his wings, shield, and sheer determination, he fights not as a replacement for Steve Rogers, but as his own kind of Captain America. In an intense aerial battle, Sam uses his agility and resourcefulness to stop the Flag Smashers, while also refusing to let Carly Morgenthau fall too far into extremism. Even when she fights him with everything she has, Sam refuses to strike back with lethal force, proving that being Captain America is about more than just winning battles. It's about standing by your principles. In an intense aerial battle, Sam uses his agility and resourcefulness to stop the Flag Smashers, while also refusing to let Carly Morgenthau fall too far into extremism. Even when she fights him with everything she has, Sam refuses to strike back with lethal force, proving that being Captain America is about more than just winning battles. It's about standing by your principles. Sam Wilson is not just the new Captain America. He is a Captain America who reflects the struggles of real people, who challenges the system rather than blindly upholding it. He stands as a symbol of hope, not just for America, but for everyone who has ever felt unheard, unrepresented, or forgotten. Sam Wilson's journey in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is one of growth, challenge, and self-discovery. He does not take the shield because he was told to. He takes it because he chooses to. And in that choice, he proves that being Captain America isn't about being a perfect soldier. It's about being a good man. And Sam Wilson is exactly that. Stepping into the mantle of Captain America was never going to be easy. Sam Wilson, the man who once soared through the skies as the Falcon, now finds himself grounded in a role that carries the weight of an entire nation's expectations. Captain America: Brave New World follows Sam as he takes on his most challenging mission yet. A battle not just of strength and skill, but of ideals, politics, and the very nature of power itself. The world is still healing from the blip, and in the wake of Thaddeus "Thunderbolt" Ross being elected as President of the United States, the political landscape has grown tense. Countries are vying for control. Hidden agendas lurk beneath the surface, and America's new captain must navigate a minefield of diplomacy, corruption, and military oversight. Sam Wilson understands that being Captain America isn't just about fighting battles. It's about what the shield represents. But with forces pulling him in different directions, the question remains: will the world accept him as Captain America, or will they try to control him? As the movie begins, Sam is deep in the field, leading a covert operation to intercept an illegal sale of adamantium, one of the most powerful metals on the planet. Intelligence suggests that a new player has emerged in the global arms race, seeking to use this rare metal to shift the balance of power. The deal is happening in Mexico, and alongside his new partner, Joaquin Torres, the new Falcon, Sam engages the enemy in a high-octane aerial battle against the Serpent Society. With Torres providing air support, Sam uses his upgraded vibranium wings and combat skills to dismantle the operation. But as the dust settles, one thing becomes clear: this was only the beginning. The stolen adamantium wasn't just meant for a single faction. It was tied to something much bigger, much more dangerous. As Sam begins to uncover the truth behind the conspiracy, he's pulled into a web of political intrigue. His mission takes him to Washington, where he's reunited with a familiar face, Isaiah Bradley. The former super soldier, who was hidden from history for decades, is now thrust into the spotlight, accused of orchestrating an attack on the White House. Sam knows Isaiah is being set up, but proving it means going against powerful forces that want to rewrite history rather than confront the truth. And at the center of it all, President Ross, whose administration is pushing forward a new era of government-controlled superhumans. Unlike Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson was not created by the system. He was never given super soldier serum, never selected by the government to represent America's ideals. And that makes him dangerous in the eyes of those in power. While Steve Rogers once rebelled against SHIELD's secret surveillance program, Sam now finds himself in a similar position, fighting against a government that sees Captain America as a tool, not as a symbol. As Sam investigates deeper, he realizes that the corruption goes all the way to the top. Ross's administration is covering up the illegal adamantium trade, planning to use the metal for military experiments. A new generation of enhanced soldiers designed to replace the Avengers. And at the heart of this operation, the transformation of Thaddeus Ross into the Red Hulk. When Sam finally confronts Ross, he realizes the full extent of the danger. The president, once a staunch advocate for controlling superheroes, has become one himself. Using experimental gamma-enhanced adamantium, Ross transforms into the monstrous Red Hulk, an unstoppable force driven by both political ambition and raw, unchecked power. What follows is one of the most intense battles of Sam Wilson's career. Without superhuman abilities of his own, Sam must rely on his intellect, his agility, and his unwavering resilience to stand against a force that outmatches him in sheer strength. But this fight is more than just a physical showdown. It's a battle for the very soul of what Captain America should be. Despite the overwhelming odds, Sam Wilson refuses to back down. He uses strategy, speed, and his vibranium shield to outmaneuver Ross, proving that strength alone does not make a hero. With the help of Joaquin Torres and a reformed Isaiah Bradley, They expose the corruption behind the adamantium experiments, bringing Ross's administration under scrutiny. In the end, Sam's victory isn't just in the battle, it's in proving that Captain America doesn't have to be a perfect soldier. He has to be a good man. And through his actions, Sam Wilson cements his place not just as America's hero, but as its conscience. Sam Wilson's journey in Captain America. Brave New World is not about becoming Captain America. He already is. It's about proving to the world that Captain America is more than a title, more than a shield. It's about standing up for what's right, even when the system itself is the enemy. With new allies at his side and new threats on the horizon, Sam Wilson's fight is far from over. But one thing is certain, he is not just the Captain America we have now. He is the Captain America we need. From the moment Sam Wilson accepted the shield, his journey has been one of resilience, sacrifice, and unwavering belief in what's right. Unlike Steve Rogers, he was not chosen by super soldier serum or government approval. He chose this path himself, knowing the weight it carried. Through battles against global threats, ideological wars, and political corruption, Sam has proven that Captain America is not about power, but about responsibility. He is a hero not because of a serum or enhanced abilities, but because of his integrity, his courage, and his heart. In Brave New World, Sam Wilson steps fully into his role, not just as the new Captain America, but as a leader for a new era. In a world filled with uncertainty, manipulation, and unchecked power, he stands firm, proving that Captain America isn't just a symbol of strength, it's a beacon of hope. And as long as there are people who need defending, as long as there are injustices to fight, Captain America will always be there.